Howdy everyone, I'm Corey with Art's Really Cool. Today is the 22nd video of Painting's Really Cool. So today we're not doing a person inspiration-y thing. We are doing more of a existence thing, I guess. I can't think of the word. But anyways, it's basically about my life in terms of like a specific aspect and how it's affected my life ever since I was little. And what that is sleep. So I've never been good at sleeping. I struggle to fall asleep. I struggle to stay asleep. You can even see it in several of my videos. I'm like, Literally, it's been a problem ever since I was little, like as young as I can remember. I just couldn't or didn't want to fall asleep and then stay asleep. And there were other things that played in as well with issues with the sleep. When I was like 7 to 10 maybe, age range, maybe a little older. Yeah, I don't think I could have been older than that. My parents always had the TV on in their room and the door was always open. And so sometimes I would like sneak over to like hide by the door to watch their TV. And then they got new beds that were like those ones that like raise up and whatever. And there was like a space under the mattress that was like this big and they had a bed skirt. So it was like a perfect cubby kind of thing to hide. And so I would crawl in there, like army crawl in, get under the thing, hide, and then peek out and watch the TV that was just right there, just watch it the whole time. And it was so annoying. My parents would watch the same movie like every night for like months, maybe at least a month at a time. Like then like Dante's Peak, I will not watch that movie with anyone. I hate that. And Lost Boys. But what my parents started doing, because they would find me, even though I was very stealthy, they would still find me, is when my mom would get up to like go to the bathroom, she would just like kick under there, and like I had to be like as flat as I could to the side to hopefully not get hit. And then my dad would just like, if he would wake up, I think it was just a standard thing he did when he woke up. You know how like people toss and turn? Like he'd wake up, he'd come over, he'd lift the thing and go to bed. I'm like, oh my God, scurry out. And then 30 minutes later, when I know they're back to sleep, I scurry back in. I couldn't sleep. And even like when we would go on vacation, like we would camp almost every summer, I would have that same problem. There's a picture, I just saw it, so hopefully I can find it again and Adrian can put it in one of these four corners. And it's of me trying, like, so my parents would just be like, just try to sleep, right? Like that was the thing, just try. But then I think my dad was like, well, just hold your eyes closed, because I kept opening them. And so there's a picture of me like trying to sleep like this. And it's like, this is so funny, but also, you know, kind of traumatic. Think like I'm trying so hard to sleep that I'm holding my eyes closed. I do think I actually fell asleep though, but I haven't done that since. So anyways, I'll tell you more sleep agony once I'm starting to paint. But what I'm going to paint is another eyeball, because when you can't sleep, typically it's because your eye is open, and your eye also normally gets a little bloodshot or a little red. Adrian's gonna impose my eye here somewhere, and you'll get to see, like, I think the picture we took doesn't have a lot of redness, or he'll get rid of it, thankfully. But you can see my eye is a lot of different colors. Like it's a very complex eyeball. To do this, I need a ton of colors. But if you look at my eye, I've got kind of like on the inner side, it's a bronzy color. That bronze dries more bronzy than it looks in this bottle. Then there's some copper, some gold yellow kind of hues. Then you get into where it gets really mixed and like there's wisps of things. And one of them is like kind of like a bluish, greenish gray. So I took, I think it was blue flash for the color shift. I added silver, and then I added emerald green flash and a little metallic black to get this color, which I think will dry close to what the little bits in between the outer edge and the gold are. Like you can see like they wisp out. You can see the outer edges and kind of in between some of the wisps are like a darker green. This pearlized dark green will look more like this when it's dried. And so kind of fits, I think. This is the pearlized dark blue. As you can see on the, I'm having to look at a reference picture of my eye because I don't know about you, but I can't see my own eye without a mirror. Although, to be fair, it's technically a little bit of eyeball right there in that screen. But there's, like, towards the outer edge, there's a darker blue, and this pearlized dark blue turns into this color. So it's a very dark blue. You can see on the very outer edge, there's like a brownish color, like a little bit of brown, blue, green. So I took pearlized dark green and a brown, and it looks super gross. But the pearlized dark green, as you can see in this bottle, does not look like it did in the bottle it comes from because it totally dries different. So this, I'm thinking, fingers crossed, because I can't do really a visual ratio. I'm just kind of hoping will equate to that. And then, as you can see in the eyeball more towards the center, there are really dark brown spots. So I've got brown of some kind, probably burnt or raw sienna, I don't know. It'll be just used like just very sparingly, like literal drops on there. As everybody probably guessed, the pupil will be, what do you think?
Metallic black.
Metallic black. And then I'm not 100% sold on this, but I might do some ribbons of metallic red, just because, again, red eye. But the red part of the eye is typically outside of the iris, so I don't know that I'll do that. It's up for debate in my noggin. All right, with the magic of editing, I'm going to be standing. Whoa, look, I'm standing. It kind of hurt my back. I think I'm too old. All right, I also, by the way, didn't mention, I'm going to do white in between the different colored layers. It just helps with contrast, and it helps to kind of, at least I think this is what it does. I'm no scientist. But I think it also allows the colors to stay kind of separate when they mix, so they stand out. So, like you can see with my eyeball over there, maybe. I'll laugh if he puts it right here. You can see that, like, the colors, while they blend, they're also very distinct lines. So, like I said, I'm going to start with the metallic black. I do this every time. I just shook them, and I'm still like, oh, I gotta shake it. And then Adrian's going to zoom in on it. It's his new favorite thing. Alright, like, my eye is complicated. Good luck. Thank you.
I wasn't expecting that.
Got my reference photo off to the side, so I'm just going to start right next to the black. If I'm not mistaken, this is my left eye. Rest in peace. You got that reference, right?
Oh, this left eye. It took me a second. I was like, rest in peace.
Yeah, it did, I guess.
It took me a while.
So, one thing I didn't mention about when my mom would walk by, she would almost always kick, but sometimes, even if she hit me, she would let me stay, or like 30 minutes or whatever, and then, I mean, she would just fall back asleep, so it didn't matter if she gave me a time limit. But sometimes she was nice because she also had trouble sleeping a lot, so she was like understanding. Thought that was funny. Zoomed in, didn't he? What was I saying? Something about my mom? Yeah, I think I was moving on to a new topic. If I wasn't, sorry, you don't get to know the end of that story. Like I was saying, when I'd get older, I would struggle to sleep so much that I would end up accidentally falling asleep during the day, like unexpected naps. So like even when I was in high school, it would happen. One of the things that would occur when that happened, I would wake up in like a panic, and like sometimes I would even cry because I didn't know where I was, what was going on. I thought I was late for stuff. My mom would have to like comfort me and be like, it's fine, it's a Saturday, or whatever. It was just very stressful for me. So then when I moved to Arizona in my own place, it was like more acceptable that I would have some random sleep schedule. Like I could be up and not cause my family any headaches because I'm making noise or whatever. I don't play video games really that much anymore, but my friend that I just made that painting for, we used to play some shooting game with her husband, and we'd play that and we'd play it super late. And then when I went back for like the summer to work in Montana, my mom and dad were like cool with me staying up in the living room, even though they were down. It was, they just kind of got a little bit cooler with that kind of thing. But sleep started to get a little bit better when I moved to Arizona. Like randomly, I would get like a good night's sleep, but it's never great, right? Like it's never been great. And so I had a sleep study done once. Oh, by the way, I decided not to do the red because it doesn't make sense. But I had a sleep study done once and they didn't see anything. And the sleep doctor actually said, well, you don't have apnea. The only other thing I can test, I feel like this is not true anymore, but the only thing I can test you for is narcolepsy. The only other thing I can test you for is narcolepsy. So he deals with apnea or narcolepsy. Those are the only options. And I was like, I feel like that's not true, but I didn't know. And then he told me to test for narcolepsy. You have to be off all medications for like 2 weeks, and I take some medications that I can't be off of. So I was like, well, I guess that's out. And I already take a medication that they use for narcolepsy. So I was like, well, whatever. But lately, the reason why I decided to do this, lately I've been struggling like extra hard to sleep and like waking up hourly. Ironically, I took a screenshot every time I woke up, just like because it doesn't take a lot of effort, and it was literally an hour apart, like 1:14, 2:13, 3:14. It's very weird. I was like, well, that's crazy. I feel like that means something, but I don't know what it means. Let's see. I'm gonna get this closer to my eyes. Let me look at my eye. These bright lights really make it hard to see. This is where it gets a little more complicated. Okay, so I feel like Pearlized dark gray. That's what I grabbed. Dark green. Next. Of course, this is not an exact replica. Obviously, Adrian is shocked by that. You should see his face. I didn't even look up. I don't know what his face looks like. It's as I always say. What do I always say, Adrian?
It's the essence.
It's the essence. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with this color next. But anyways, like I said, I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping, like hourly wake ups. It's starting to get better. I think I figured out what's going on, but I still constantly wake up. It makes me very mad at Adrian because he can fall asleep anywhere, any position, with any fabric on his body. Like he'll fall asleep in like 2 hoodies and like pants and 17 pairs of socks and a blanket, or he'll sleep with headphones, like not just like the earbuds, but like big old chunky headphones. Like, how is your head not like, this is not okay? For me, I do say that I'm the prince on the pea, because like if there's a wrinkle on my sheet or like it's slightly, anyways. Oh, these are kind of looking cool. I don't know why they're doing that. Anyway, let's get back to painting. I was going to do this next. I didn't make very much of this because I wasn't expecting to use it that much. So I'm just going to use it sparingly. While working on this sleep journey to try and make it less painful for me, I've learned all sorts of tactics for how you fall asleep, or sleep hygiene as it's called. Sorry, give me 1 second. Making this up on the spot, guys. Give me a break. If you're in the live chat, hi, how's it going? Sorry, this takes concentration. And if I talk, I'll mess up like that. I don't know that this is necessary at all. I just felt like I wanted to do it. Maybe Adrian will speed past it, maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna do solid dark blue around all this. I think it's supposed to be a little less, but honestly, I'm getting tired of trying to figure out exact color, so I'm kind of just going with my own choice.
It's a pretty combination.
Right, it is. It's kind of a pretty color palette.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this color that I'm pouring with right now and the dark green in the layer before will dry those colors in the tubes. But this right here is pretty. It's neutral-esque and modern-esque. Does anybody else have problems with sleep? You tell me what you've done, if you've figured out how to get past it, or like if you have a fun activity you do and you just can't fall asleep, you're like, well, I'm not gonna sleep, I'm gonna do this. That would be nice. I think I started a little, no, that's about where it starts, the gold. Kind of is like a brownish color on the end, but also like the dark blue. So what I'm gonna do is this. And then some spots I'll do blue again, just some spots. This will most likely get blown off, so. Alright, what do we think? I kind of just like the look of this in general. Let's get the hair dryer and hair right out of here. That's not my eyeball, but it's very pretty. I think I just did, I know, clearly, I just did too much. Like, I had too thick of a line of the bronzes. Must have been a thick spot of white to show like that. Give me a second, I'm gonna blow that area. So the pupil, as you can see, is also kind of crazy, but I like that. As you can see in my other eyeballs I've done, I kind of like that the pupil goes out this little, maybe much. I might blow that back in off camera, but I still think it's pretty cool. I think this color palette is pretty cool. I like that you can see the bronze, which is clearly in the start of my eye, the copper, and then the faint bits of gold. Which is how it looks in there. And then you can see, like, if this was bigger, I feel like you would see my eye just in a like bigger form. It's just all those colors kind of got blown off, which in my head I thought about it, but I didn't think about it, if that makes sense. I didn't really process it through. I just thought, well, that's why I left the space on the edges. Like, normally I go almost to the edge because I'm wonky like that. Overall, I think it's a neutral, like, versatile piece that I like right now. And I do love the little cells that are forming around the edges, like all of these areas right here, just like this has got tons of cell action. Those are cool. And I'm gonna torch it here in a minute and more might show up, but I'm not mad. I'm a little disappointed that it's not quite what I was after, but it's not horrible. And you know, maybe next time I do an eye, I might blow in and then blow out. When I do like a puddle pour, I like blowing the base color over the puddle and then blow that out because it totally makes a different vibe than just building it and blowing it out, like, because it mixes and covers and blends more. So yeah, this is this. Show you the wet version. Adrian's probably going to do a dance break, and then we'll show you the dry version. These cells right here are really pretty cool because they've got like the color on the color on the color. That one cell right there, you can see it's got copper, then maybe a line of gold, then some blue, then some green. Like, you can see all of those colors on that. I do like this coming out, but I don't love this one, so I'm gonna probably blow this back. This looks like my eyeball in terms of like how things come out wispy like that, so I'm not upset with it in the long run. I'll show you it dried after this stance break. And I see you. Look at me looking at you with my eyeball. But it is not as far off. I mean, the copper really calmed down copper, like it took over the show. But really, it's not as far-fetched as I thought. But I do like that the iris kind of created, or not the iris, the pupil. I have been saying iris in all of my videos. The pupil kind of created like a little demon, like there's little horns coming out, like it's like a little demon. And so it's like the eye of Sauron or whatever, Sauron. Here are the cells that are on the edge that are pretty cool. Like that section I love. There's little speckles there. Some pretty cool ones here. But overall, the bronze kind of didn't mesh, really. I have to say that. Like, it kind of just said, no, I'm just going to be bronze. Overall, I think it's a decent one that I am proud of. And with that, I bid you adieu. Adrian, guess what?
Chicken butt. No, seriously. What?
Our website's live. Go to artreallycool.com.
Yeah, you're lying. Let me check.
Oh, you weren't lying.